Hello, everyone. So this is written by Murphy's Moment of Wonder. And if you are watching live, please give me a comment or type a 1 in the comments so I know you're live. If you're watching the replay, also give me a comment so I know that you are seeing what I have. Today is Memorial Day, and I am not working. Isn't that wonderful? Memorial Day is actually celebrating the victory of the First World War. And so that was about 100 years ago, right? Almost. And so we don't think about it. We think about, let's remember all the soldiers, all the military people who have died. And I honor those people. I also like to give great respect to the people who have served in the military. And that's a hard job. I've been reading lately. I finished, and I'm still thinking about The Fates of Battle by John Keegan. And there was one part that I stopped and reread again, I don't know, like 4 times because it hit me. The standing army, the concept of a standing army changed the whole world. When I was reading about the 14th century in A Distant Mirror, they were talking about, we're going to go fight battles, and it was an exercise of similar to like camping or going on a road trip where a bunch of friends, usually noblemen, would get together and say, guys, we have to fight this battle. This person over here needs to be taught a lesson, and we're going to all get together and we're going to go to a field and we're going to have a battle, wage a battle against this person. And each person, actually, to go even further back in the Iliad, which I also like to bring up, they say, hey, here is this great warrior and this great warrior, and they're all amazing. You know what the Iliad doesn't talk about? How they march in formation. And also they don't talk about that in the medieval wars too, because it was not that disciplined. It was only after the idea of having an army that was trained and regimented to become an army, to be good at being an army even though a battle wasn't happening. That's a big deal. And just a minute. Excuse me. What it meant was we as human beings were being industrialized. And let me tell you, that's a lot of what we're doing right now. All of us sitting in our computers and our desks with our computers going, okay, I'm dealing with this email, I'm putting this in this proper place, I'm putting this in the Excel spreadsheet, all those things. That started with the standing army. Really, so much of the advancements we have in technology come from the military. So the idea of having a standing army was very important to the psychology of human beings. They would see a standing army, that people in the standing army would have an impression of what it was to feel like you were in this and you did it this way and you had a way of doing it. And then other people watching the army, it is really impressive to watch an army march down the road. You're like, wow, look at them. They're all exactly the same and they're doing this thing and they look like, if you were to encounter that, you'd be like, wow, I don't want to deal with that. That's a big deal. So at the time that they were building up the standing armies, which would be 1700s, they were certainly a thing in the American Revolution, in the sense of the redcoats that the revolutionaries fought. And we laugh at that with our American history. We're like, oh, ha ha ha, those redcoats, we Americans were so much better than them because we were all individuals and we would hide behind trees and shoot at them as they just lined up and we could take them out. Kinda. it was a little more complicated than that, but I'm talking about the standing army as a disciplined force to a purpose. Oh, a bunch of people all working in conformity towards a purpose. That's what the standing army gave us as a human race. Like, oh, this is a thing we can do. It also is sort of that way. It follows with the industrialization that, oh, a factory, we all kind of do the same thing together with conformity, interacting with machines and well, that's what weapons are, and interacting with each other to become a disciplined force that's working in conformity to a purpose. That is not something that was new under the face of the earth, under the sun. And so once we figured that out, a lot of other things flowed from that. Like, oh, we could actually have a political party that would work that way too. We could also have non-wartime functions like the moon landing and other amazing things. We could build, for example, peacetime infrastructure like electric systems and water systems that allow us to have the amazing civilization that we do now, including telecommunications, which I'm a huge fan of. It's what we're doing right now. This is telecommunications, me talking. So thinking about throughout history, inventions are sometimes physical things like, oh, someone invented the printing press. That had a huge impact. Well, people also invent concepts. Ooh, someone has joined. I don't know who. Go ahead and give me a comment. But in history, we have inventions that are not just physical inventions. They're also concepts. And once people have the concept, they can take that concept and use it in other places. And so the idea of the standing army allowed us to recognize that we could all get together to a purpose and work with a togetherness and an ease. Like, hey, this is how you do it. You step at the same pace. You do things together. That's not easy. It takes a lot of work to get to be that smoothly working together. And so I'm really intrigued by this and how the world has reacted since it realized, oh, people can be very cooperative if we all agree to it. And we agree on the rules. It's pretty amazing. So that idea of how we could all work cooperatively, not be so individualistic, but achieve more and more, it's really amazing. So I thought I would bring that up today on Memorial Day. The other book that I just, like this morning, finished reading was The Female Persuasion by Meg Wolitzer. Is talking about feminism, which of course made me start up reading another book, Big Girls Don't Cry by Rebecca Traister. And I'm like, man, I think women could learn something from understanding the togetherness and the conformity that these kinds of actions require. People aren't meant to be 100% conformist, but it's really powerful when we can cooperate together. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I wish you the best on this Memorial Day. Please remember what was fought for and the sacrifices that were made for us to have this life that we have. All right, bye.